Well, welcome to this random pick a card reading. I just felt like making a video, but I didn't know exactly what to make a video about. I just felt like talking and just getting back into the flow. I'm just getting used to making videos and talking. And my cat just jumped on my lap. And so I figured, why don't we just do a little pick a card reading, just random little messages while my cat sleeps on my lap. So if you're new to pick a card readings, all you need to do is just basically pick a card, and there will be a little message for you for your week ahead. Let's say these are little messages for your week ahead. Perhaps there are things that you've been thinking about. Perhaps this reading will help you unknot some things, but you know, I have nothing in mind, so we're just going to go with general messages for your week ahead. Things you need to know right now, just things. So, from left to right, we've got pile 1, which is this fancy rock here. It's pink. Second pile, we've got this fancy rock here. It's blue and green. I know the lighting is like abysmal, but super casual. Pile 3, we got this rock here. This gray and white rock. So yeah, pick a card and skip to the timestamp in the description below. Alright, if you chose this fancy rock here, this pink rock, this is your pile. Alright, so the deck I'm using is the Creatures Tarot, which I've been really into the past couple months, and I just really want to do some readings with it and just see how it reads. Alright, so before I get into the reading, let's take a moment to take a few breaths and just feel centered, feel like we're ready to open our minds and open our hearts to some new message, open our hearts, open our minds to some new guidance, some new answers that we may or may not have already known in our hearts. So I'm going to shuffle. Let's take some deep breaths together. Let's get real cozy, just like Suzy's getting very cozy here. Okay. Let's do one quick riffle shuffle here. Suzy, is there anything here? All right. All right, so let's kind of check in with a theme, something that's been going on for you recently, just a theme or something going on for you recently. Okay, so the first card we've got is the Priestess, or the High Priestess. So what we see here is a creature who looks like it's wearing a flower crown, and it looks like kind of like the Loch Ness Monster, like a serpentine shape, and you can see it in the night beyond the horizon of the water. So there's the Priestess coming up first. So the Priestess, I guess I'll hold it back up. The Priestess tells me that there's some things that there's a couple of things I can see here. One is that there's some things on your mind that you're trying to find the answers for, but for some reason, those answers, that clarity just feels like it escapes you right now. It feels like the answers, the clarity that you're looking for is just not within your reach. And it may be a little bit frustrating that you don't exactly know what's going on. The other interpretation I can see for the Priestess is that you are having to hold some information to yourself that you just have to hold some information to yourself. You're kind of possibly reserving judgment, or perhaps someone has confided in you something, or perhaps you're just holding your own emotions in, your own thoughts in, because you don't want other people to know what's going on. You just don't want people to know whatever it is that you know. So a couple of interpretations there. Let me draw some more cards to expand on this Priestess. Tell me more about the Priestess energy here, please. Okay, so we've got the Seven of Pentacles coming up. So the Seven of Pentacles here, we see a creature who's looking at what looks like 7 coins sprouting up out of the ground on a vine. Yeah, it just looks like it's contemplating them. So the High Priestess and the Seven of Pentacles together. It feels like you've been contemplating this. It just adds to the message of you contemplating this, just not really sure what to make of this information. not really sure where to go next. You're like evaluating. There's possibly a crossroads here. Like, should you kind of undo your progress and start over? I don't think that's very clear, but I'll just leave it as contemplating something. But why are you contemplating here? What is it that you're contemplating? We've got the Eight of Swords. Okay, and draw one more card here. We've got the Nine of Cups. So Eight of Swords and Nine of Cups. So there's definitely a bit of a duality here. I'll put it to this side. Get a nice view of Suzy here. There's a little bit of a duality here where it feels like on the one hand, you possibly feel a little bit trapped. Like there's stuff keeping you from living your full life. You know, it feels like the secrets, the things that you're kind of holding back, it feels like they're stopping you from wanting to live your life, wanting to be emotionally fulfilled or like emotionally expressive. It possibly feels like you can't fully be yourself because you're busy like kind of feeling chained by this thing. And now you're at the point where because of you're recognizing that this thing is kind of making you feel trapped, you're wondering if it's worth continuing on in this way. You're wondering if it's worth continuing on, keeping this kind of secret, keeping these things inside, or maybe it's worth trying to change, trying to speak aloud the things that you know, were having trouble speaking aloud. And one analogy that comes to mind is, you know, coming to terms with the fact that you're not who you thought you were. You're not the person that you thought you were. Everyone has a certain image of you, and you don't really want to correct that image of you in other people's eyes. But in your mind, you're like, you know, I know that I'm not this person that you think I am, but I don't really know how to say it. I don't even know if I should say it. But you not speaking out your truth, you not speaking aloud the things that are important to you, you not acknowledging these things, or just you not saying aloud these secrets that you're holding inside is kind of eating at you. It's kind of stopping you from reaching the emotional fulfillment that you could be having. Not just emotional fulfillment as in like being happy, but also opening yourself up to a spectrum of emotions. Like when we allow ourselves to speak difficult truths, we also open ourselves up to a lot more range in human emotion. We get to feel the joys of being heard and seen by people. We get to see exactly how people can react to us. We get to experience the possible gray areas of having to navigate like people accepting or not accepting us. So it feels like there's a little bit of life and emotional range that you're missing out on by continuing to kind of keep yourself chained up in this way. So let's see. Let's get a couple cards for how to move forward, I guess. Like, how do we move on from this? Okay, we've got, the Ten of Pentacles here. And then let's do one more. Got the Three of Cups. And yeah, we'll do one more here. We've got the King of Pentacles. So, Ten of Pentacles, Three of Cups, and King of Pentacles. So, to describe these cards for people who are visually impaired and or just not looking, the Ten of Pentacles, we have a card of a little creature in the forest, and it's looking out on a field of like 10 different coins here. Three of Cups, we have three tentacles holding three, like could be glasses of champagne, could also just be sparkling water. And third, we have the King of Pentacles, which is a creature, a very tall creature with ram-looking horns coming out of its head, standing in a very luxurious field at night. So how do we move on from, this feeling of keeping secrets and it's eating you up inside and you're contemplating if it's worth it anymore? What do we do next? What's the next step? So the next step that I see is to consider the long-term impacts of your actions and the choices that you're making today. Consider if this secret, keeping this short term, keeping the peace for the short term is it going to get you where you need to be in, let's say, 5 to 10 years? In 5 to 10 years, do you envision yourself still keeping these secrets, or would you have liked to, metaphorically come out of the closet by then? It feels like the step forward is to consider not just the long-term ideas, but more like long-term happiness as well. The 10 of Pentacles and the 3 of Cups here. We've got the idea of long-term, but also happiness. And again, we're going back to the Cups idea. The 9 of Cups here with emotional fulfillment, 3 of Cups also signifying emotional fulfillment, even just emotional expansion. So this idea of being smart, not just in the moment, but for your long-term well-being is coming into question here. With the King of Pentacles, it does say that you do have to trust yourself that you are making the best decision that works for you right now. And I think that is something that you need to remind yourself of. There are some people, and again, I'm going back to the analogy of like staying in the closet, like there are some people who might pressure you to come out of the queer closet, and or maybe you're pressuring yourself to come out of the queer closet, but the fact is you don't have to come out until you're ready to, and until you feel like it truly is something that you want to do and that you're ready for. So when it comes to, speaking your truth, whether it's like, I don't know, saying things out loud, or maybe being assertive, standing up to that one person that you've been meaning to stand up to for a while, like even if you feel trapped right now, it doesn't mean that you're doing bad by like continuing to be on this way. It just means that you're doing what feels right and what feels best for you in this moment. If you don't feel like you're ready to, or that you want to like speak up and like be quote assertive or even aggressive, like you don't have to speak up. Sometimes when we're with like for example, when we're with like a toxic coworker or a toxic friend, like sometimes you're just kind of surviving day to day until the moment is right for you to maybe speak up, or the moment is right for you to like cut ties with them. So just consider these things as you continue on your life. Like consider your long-term happiness, consider what kind of character you want to develop in the next 5-10 years, but also remember that at the end of the day, you're still doing what feels best to you in this moment, and trust that you're making the best decision that you can with the information that you know now. If you knew how to be more assertive, like you would be a different person, If you want to learn how to be more assertive, that's a thing that you can do. But for now, like you just got to trust that you're doing the best that you can right now. That's what the King of Pentacles does. So let's finish this off with just a few charms in this bag that my sibling made. So we're just going to grab a few charms here. Let's do 3 charms. Suzy is very curious. Okay, 3 charms. So we've got on the 7 of Pentacles, you've got the Devil. On the 8 of Swords, we've got the Moon reversed. And 3 of Cups, we've got the 4 of Cups, which also came out in reverse. So I'll hold these up to the camera to see if it'll focus. So these 3 charms here, I know the light is like glaring on them, so there we go. I guess down here we can kind of see them. All right, so the Devil, the Moon reversed, and the 4 of Cups reversed. So the 4 of Cups reversed coming out on top of the 3 of Cups feels very, very kismet. It's as if the 4 of Cups is kind of regressing down to the 3 of Cups. And it just seems like a reminder that, like, right now you are kind of prioritizing your short-term, like, happiness or survival. And that's very valid. With the 8 of Swords, with the Moon reverse, it does give me the idea that you kind of know that you're in a bind. You know that this is not like your most authentic self, or like the truest, most assertive self you want to be. So it feels like this is not really news to you. Like you already kind of knew this. With the Devil coming up over the 7 of Pentacles, it does tell me, this idea of constantly second guessing yourself is going to cause you more harm than good. So you can consider your own actions and reconsider if maybe they're not in alignment with who you truly want to be. But at the end of the day, you also just have to put a limit to it. Like, you know, I've ruminated on it enough today. Tomorrow, I'm going to maybe try to look at it at a different angle, maybe see if I can make any progress that way. But for now, you know, just be aware of how much you're thinking about it and be aware of how much it might be negatively affecting you. As humans, we are only doing our best from day to day. And sometimes the life lessons that we need to learn, or like the personality shifts or the life shifts that we need to make, they don't happen overnight. And if now it doesn't feel like the right time for them to happen, then that's okay. Let's see if tomorrow you'll feel a little bit better about it, you know? So no point stressing too much about like if one choice today is going to affect your life like 10 years from now. Consider your long-term happiness, but also consider that you are trying to do the best you can day by day. So that is your reading for today. I hope it was helpful in some way. I hope you enjoyed seeing SuzyCat here just chilling out on my lap here. Yeah, so that's it for your casual reading for today. I'll see you in another video. Bye! Hi, so if you chose this nice blue and green rock, this is your pile. So with the Creatures Tarot, let's go ahead and give it a few shuffles. While I'm shuffling, let's take some deep breaths and just kind of concentrate and let some worries wash away. Let's just take a moment to think about what's going on in our minds recently and hope for some clarity or insight or guidance from the reading today. Take a few moments to breathe in and center yourself. All right, one last shuffle. Okay, so let's start off with a card to tell us what's been on your mind recently. What's been a theme happening in your life recently? And we've got the Four of Swords. So the topic of rest and relaxation has been on your mind recently. We've got a creature here with 5 tentacles. They're holding onto one sword. There's 3 swords also pointed at them. So this idea of rest and relaxation, possibly giving yourself a mental break. Or maybe you need a mental break. Or maybe you've had a little bit of a lack of inspiration too. So let's see. Tell me more about the Four of Swords. What's going on with the Four of Swords for you recently? We've got the Six of Cups. All right, Six of Cups. And we've also got the Eight of Swords. Okay. So the Six of Cups and the Eight of Swords. So the Six of Cups, we've got 2 creatures, one a little bit larger than the other. The larger creature is handing the littler one a pink cup, and on the grass there are 5 pink cups around them. Okay, so hold these over here. So with the Six of Cups, there is this idea that you may have been reminiscing on the past a little bit. And with the Eight of Swords coming up in conjunction with the Six of Cups, I'm wondering if there's a part of you that's been thinking about the past and possibly thinking about things that you could or couldn't have changed about the past. Yeah, both of those cards together gives me the sense of like ruminating, just thinking about those things. And with the Four of Swords, it does tell me that right now you have a little bit of free time on your mind that you're able to kind of think about these things. I'm almost wondering if a part of why you're ruminating on the past a little bit is because you don't have enough things in your current life to think about. But that's just a guess or a speculation. So, you know, it's possible that there are things in your past that you wish had been done differently. Maybe you wish that your younger self had been treated a different way. But overall, whatever happened in the past, it's kind of leading you to feel a little bit like bound or a little bit trapped, a little bit stuck today. So one example I can think of is perhaps you didn't have a parent who helped you with job applications or with interviews. And now you find yourself struggling with job applications and interviews and just being able to talk to people. And so perhaps a part of you feels a little bit lost, or like you lost that part, or it feels like you missed out on that potential. Like you could have had a parent who was so sociable and like could have taught you those things, but somehow you didn't. You know, whether it was a parent or whether it was like school or anyone else, any other source in your life that could have taught you these things but didn't. You know, there's just that sense that I'm feeling right now, that you just feel a little bit like stuck now, and because of the things that you did or that happened to you in the past. So let's get a little bit more, let's get another card here. I want to see what else is going on. Let's see. The Page of Swords. Okay. So what I see here with the Page of Swords is that, well, first of all, there's a little creature, a little stumpy, cute little creature, holding a sword out. The sky behind them is yellow, and they're standing on a big pile of like gravel or rock. So the Page of Swords coming out here, though, it does seem like whatever your experience was in the past, as a child, as a teen, just your younger self, you did have to learn a lot of it yourself. That's what I see with the Page of Swords here. You had a pretty sharp mind, and you ended up having to learn a lot of things yourself, and now because of that, even current you is still in this Page of Swords mindset, where I see a couple of things coming through here with the Page of Swords. Current you is still very sharp in mind. You're still able to learn things quickly and pick up a lot of things quickly because of the experiences that you went through as a child. But I'm also seeing here with the Page of Swords that it's possible that you sometimes still feel like almost like an imposter. Like you still haven't mastered, quote, like, for example, socialization or like interview skills. You haven't like mastered those things the way that you see other people and you think that they have mastered those skills. So possibly a part of you feels like you wish you were maybe a royal person of swords, a king or queen of swords, but instead you feel like a page. You feel like you're still learning. You feel like, you're still learning when you wish or you expected yourself to be in this like master stage already. I wonder if that's true. So I want to draw a few more cards. Let's kind of look ahead a little bit then. What can we do with this information, with this feeling, with this experience? All right, so we've got 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we've got the King of Wands here, which is a dragon with its tail wrapped around a candle. We've got the Two of Wands, which is a tall creature holding onto one wand. There's another wand behind them. They got their hand on their hip, looking out over the horizon. And the Knight of Pentacles. Interesting. The Knight of Pentacles is a creature holding a pentacle and standing very, very tall over what looks like some trees, some greenery. So let's see. Let me hold on to these cards here. I should get a card stand like some other people have, but we're doing this totally impromptu, so I definitely don't have one of those. So I'll just put these down in front of me so I can read them better. King of Wands, Two of Wands, and the Knight of Pentacles, as looking ahead, seeing what's coming up next for you. So it looks like what's coming up next for you is, how I was just talking about the Page of Swords, how you might be feeling like you're still a page, you're still like in training, you don't feel like you're a master of some sort. Well, the King of Wands, first of all, is a reminder that everyone has this king identity in them. Everyone has a master or an expert inside them. And it's about time that you realize that you have put in a lot of effort, not only to learn the things, but to make them happen for yourself, So again, for example, if you didn't learn how to socialize, like you still found your own way through life and you were able to make friends in your own way. Even if sometimes they were awkward, even if sometimes the social interactions did not happen perfectly, you still had the grit and the guts to just make it happen and make it happen in your own way, you know? With the King of Wands and the Two of Wands, it also seems like a reminder that with the Two of Wands, there is always more to know. There's always more to look at. The King recognizes, you know, as a master of like the Wands domain here, they recognize that there's always more to learn. There's more to improve upon. There's more to integrate. There's more things to be interested in and be passionate about. And I see that with the Page of Swords as well, just constantly in this learning new things phase. So it's a good reminder that you're not only a page in training, like you are in training, but you're also still a master in other areas. So it's a good time to assess like the things that you have worked hard to create and to build for yourself so far. The Knight of Pentacles is definitely a great example of that, building a foundation for yourself, because the Knight of Pentacles is someone who works at something very slowly, very steadily, very diligently. And I see that you're taking the time right now to kind of contemplate right now with this Four of Swords. You're contemplating all of these experiences in your life and how they shaped you as a person. And while you're contemplating, just remember that you have achieved so many things that other people are not able to achieve, have not been able to achieve. So even if you feel like, oh, other people had like a leg ahead of you in some areas, just remember that you probably have a leg up, you know, compared to them. And if you don't compared to them, then honestly, why even think of them in the first place? You know, who are they? Why do they matter to your own growth? But, you know, with the Two of Wands, here's someone looking out into the horizon, like not only looking out into the horizon, but this Two of Wands character is looking back at all of the growth that they've had here as well, I see. So there's just a lot of growth that you have gone through in the past, in your whole life. And the Knight of Pentacles, just kind of moving on ahead, it's just a reminder for you that all you can do right now is just continue building your skills and continue practicing those skills. There's no point in feeling bad about, you know, what's happened to you, where you've been, what you've done, what you haven't done. Like, all you can do is just keep moving forward one step at a time, you know? So that is your tarot card reading. Now let's grab a few charms from the Charm Cast Tarot here. Give them a good shuffle. We're gonna grab 3 charms. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Oh, a 4th one came out, so we're gonna keep it. Okay, so over the 6 of Cups, we got Strength reversed. Over the Page of Swords, we've got the 7 of Wands reversed, upright. And the Two of Wands, we've got the Chariot and the 7 of Cups, both kind of horizontal. So we're going to keep it that way. So I don't know if you're curious about seeing these on camera, but I'm just going to hold the charms up to the camera real quick, just down here, because the light is very bright. And there's the Chariot and the 7 of Cups here. Okay, so Chariot and 7 of Cups. 2 7s, and both horizontal. Page of Swords, 7 of Wands, so we got another 7. And you got Strength reversed, so it's like an 8 going kind of back down to a 7. So it's like you got 4 7s coming right up on your reading. So the number 7 is a number of like calibration, recalibration in my eyes. And that's kind of what you're doing with the 4 of Swords right now. You're kind of recalibrating your life right now. You're kind of assessing these things and where you've come. But what I see with the 7 of Wands upright, you know, considering the only upright one is the 7 of Wands, it's a reminder for you to push back against the self-criticism that you might have. And I see that especially on the Page of Swords here. Like, you might feel like you're small fry compared to other people, but the 7 of Wands feels like a direct counterpoint to that. Like, you're not small fry. You've been able to hold your own and learn on your own and teach yourself things that, you know, other people couldn't have taught you. And you've been able to learn all of that, and that is incredible. So you definitely need to acknowledge that growth there, that strength, that resilience in you. You know, and I see that Strength reverse coming up here with the 6 of Cups and 8 of Swords, like that same idea that perhaps when you were younger, you didn't know how strong you could be. You didn't realize your own resilience when you were younger. And now as a Page of Swords and onward in your current life, like, you are more resilient now because of what you went through as a child. And I know that resilience isn't something that is a choice. I know that sometimes it can be loaded or a bit triggering for people to be complimented on how like resilient they were, because it's like, well, I didn't really have a choice. So, if that feels like it for you, then you don't have to take it that way. But I just think it is good for you to acknowledge to yourself, like, you know what, I busted my ass doing that stuff back then. And now, even though I'm not like, the top student or the top, like, I don't know, 30 under 30 or whatever, like, I'm still successful in my own right. And I'm learning things. I have to redefine success, what it means to me now, instead of what it means to other people. With the Two of Wands, let's see, Chariot and Seven of Cups. So this feels like kind of definitely okay. Chariot gives me the idea again of don't measure your success by other people's standards. Just because other people are on their own path doesn't mean that you have to be on their path as well. And the Seven of Cups honestly tells me that you kind of maybe need to spend some time literally ignoring other paths, other possibilities, other what ifs right now. You need to just kind of cut away, like just put on blinders to other people's social media or other people's accomplishments or other people's like happy stories or their hustles or whatever. Like, if it's not motivating you right now, if it's not really adding any positive value to your life, if it's not really inspiring for you, like, don't look at it. And this also goes for like maybe schools that you could have applied to, or like jobs that you could have taken or been accepted to. Like, all those what ifs, it's just important for you to like not look at them right now. That's not serving you. Let's not look at them right now. All you can do is be a Knight of Pentacles. Just kind of focus on your own path, moving forward bit by bit on your own path, So that is your reading for today. I hope it was helpful for you in some way. That's all I got for you today. And I'll see you in another video. Bye. Hello. If you've chosen this gray and white rock, then this is your pile. So, fun fact, my cat actually woke up just a couple minutes ago and jumped down, but I've got her here trying to lure her back to sleep. Oh, lull her back to sleep, not lure her. Lull her back to sleep. So usually when I have a hand under her, she likes to feel warm and get sleepy. Well, I am so sorry, Pile 3. I know you've been lied to. There will not be a cat at your reading today, but I hope that the reading is still valuable for you. So we're just going to go with this. So I'm using the Creatures Tarot today. I'm going to shuffle the cards a bit while I'm shuffling. Feel free to just take some time to center yourself, just feel grounded. Take some deep breaths along with me. We're going to think about the things that have been going on recently and just try to open our hearts and our minds for some clarity and some insight for the reading today. Again, I do apologize for the cat leaving, but you cannot contain a cat, so she goes where she wants to go. All right, what's been going on in our lives recently? Okay, one last shuffle. All right. She's feeling more awake now. She's like scratching her cat tree. So let's draw a card to kind of set the theme for the reading today. Just tell us something about what's been on your mind recently, a theme of what's been going on recently for you. So we've got the Two of Cups recently. So it feels like a connection of some sort has been on your mind. So in this card, we see almost what looks like a mirror image. She is on the desk instead. All right, she's back momentarily, but who knows how long she's going to stay. She has some new food to chase after, so she might hop off. Anyway, it feels like some sort of connection is on your mind. There's a mirror image on this card of two creatures looking like they're kind of entwined, each holding a glass of what looks like, pink juice. And they're standing in a flowery field. The whole card is very green, which is a very interesting color for a cups card. Usually cups is associated with pink or blue in my opinion, but this card is very green. So it feels like a thing that's been on your mind a topic relevant to you recently has been the idea of connection. This idea of, does this make my heart happy? Do I feel good about whatever is going on right now? Does this make my heart happy? So, let's see. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay, she's found a place to settle down, which is the best I can hope for now. I will definitely play with her after this, because I know that she wants attention. Which sounds like what you want right now too, right? You just want a little bit of attention. I wonder if you're not getting enough attention recently. Alright, so let's draw a few more cards to kind of see where this theme is going. What's happening with this Two of Cups here? Got the Hermit. And the Four of Cups. Oh wow, it definitely feels like something in your life or someone is just not giving you the attention or the fulfillment that you were hoping for right now. It feels like even within this connection, it feels like you're on your own, and it just doesn't feel that emotionally fulfilling. Now, when I mention this connection, just notice what comes to mind first. Is it a particular friendship that you've been dealing with recently? Is it your job or a hobby that you've been trying to feel more connected to? It doesn't have to be just like a romantic relationship, but definitely this idea of you feeling a bit alone. And let's see. Okay, so let's unpack this a little bit. The Hermit doesn't have to necessarily mean alone in a bad way, though. The Hermit, even in a relationship, I have found to be a very positive card for me personally, because the Hermit can mean being able to spend time with yourself without feeling consumed or swallowed by the relationship. Being able to feel independent and still like your own person instead of being lost in your relationship. So I found that the Hermit can be a positive card even within a relationship. Now, however, I do see that the Hermit and the Four of Cups combined does this give this idea that in this relationship, or again, connection or whatever it is on your heart, like this thing that you were hoping to be emotionally fulfilling or that was supposed to be emotionally fulfilling right now just isn't feeling all that emotional fulfilling. This Four of Cups specifically, this creature with its 4 cups at the base of a tree, looking very small at the bottom of the tree. I don't think I've described the cards yet. The Hermit is this creature kind of peeking out from this tall, like magenta looking tree here. It's at the top of the tree, whereas the Four of Cups is at the bottom of the tree. And I definitely noticed that both of these cards, the creature looks very small in comparison to the tree that it's in. It doesn't feel like it's taking command like large and in charge with the tree here. It feels like it's being swallowed up by the things around it. And I especially see with the Four of Cups, it gives me the idea of like perhaps someone being stood up for dinner or for a meeting of some sort. Perhaps someone dropped the ball on something and it's kind of leaving all the work to you, leaving you feeling some type of way. But yeah, I just see with the Hermit and the Four of Cups here. Yeah, just a little bit of loneliness and a little bit of like, I kind of wish I wasn't feeling this way. Now, what I am seeing with the Four of Cups is, because both of these cards are looking very gray, I wonder if there's more to the story here. Let's see. Okay, the Seven of Wands. I'm holding my deck upside down. So the Seven of Wands here. You've got a creature standing on top of a field, and there's seven black birds like in front of them. Oh no, this is the Six of Wands, not the Seven of Wands. The Six of Wands. So there's 6 wands, kind of beneath them on the field. 6 candles. Okay, so this Six of Wands is a little bit curious to me. So the Six of Wands gives me the feeling of someone being very proud, someone feeling like they've won, or just feeling like they're very proud in some way. But I see that the Six of Wands coming up against the Four of Cups here, it feels like there's a little bit of ego somewhere. There must be something that you're not really willing to admit, Or perhaps there's just some sort of pride here that's stopping you from getting your emotional needs met, from being able to truly connect with this thing. Perhaps the pride is you don't want to realize that maybe this thing isn't as emotionally fulfilling or as exciting for you as you were hoping it would be. You're trying not to realize that this isn't the right fit for you as much as you were hoping to make it the right fit for you. Perhaps your pride is stopping you from opening your heart and using your words to communicate with someone, the other party, about how you've been feeling and how you wish for more emotional connectivity together. Perhaps the pride or the ego is you feeling like you want to continue being independent, that you don't want to rely on someone else, and therefore you're not going to stoop so low as to ask someone else or tell someone else how you're feeling and try to rely on them. So yeah, I'm just getting a sense of pride or ego here with the Six of Wands. And again, I'm noticing in these three cards that the creature's just alone. Although granted, no, in a lot of cards the creatures are alone, but I am noticing more that the creature is just not really taking command of the whole card. It's very small in the context of the card here. Okay, so let's take some cards to kind of think about or talk about or consider where to go from here. What are the next steps? What's next here? Ooh, we got the Ace of Cups. Okay. They got the Tower. And where to go next? Okay, the Ace of Swords. All right. So you've got two aces coming up here. And the Tower. Okay. So with the Ace of Cups, we see someone holding a cup. There's a creature holding a cup. They're bathed in a big cloud. The only thing you can see coming out of the cloud is the creature's head and its tentacle holding the cup. Then we have the Tower, which is a tall tree with just a couple of main branches, and one branch is completely fallen off, broken off. And the sky behind the tower or this tree is very red, very crimson. The third card here is the Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords speaks to, it's again, more clouds at the bottom here, and there's a tentacle reaching out. We see a tall sword being held by the creature's tentacle. So Ace of Cups, the Tower, and the Ace of Swords here. All right. Okay. So Ace of Cups, the Tower, the Ace of Swords. Okay. So some things to consider next, and or things that are coming your way next, is there's probably going to be an emotional outburst involved somewhere. It feels like the emotions that you're holding inside that you maybe ought to share with someone but haven't yet, it feels like they're going to kind of come up in a way that you're not expecting. Perhaps you're going to have a big emotional blow up, or you're going to have a sudden really, really big cry, or you're going to have a really big emotional confession that you've actually been feeling unwanted this whole time. You didn't want to say anything because you never thought you had to say anything, and you thought it could solve itself on its own, but now it hasn't, and now you're just feeling even worse. The Ace of Cups just feels like a really big emotional overflowing, and it just feels like the emotions are going to come out one way or another. With the Tower, it feels like things are going to change unexpectedly. It is going to change the nature of how you feel about this connection or yourself or something. It's going to change something in your life in a way that you probably were not expecting. But after the Tower, we have the Ace of Swords. So it definitely is also going to give you some new clarity. It's possibly going to give you some new information or answers or a way of looking at the world that you didn't before. Now, this kind of cycle is something that I'm pretty used to myself because I am someone who does tend to suppress my emotions, and I also do end up crying a lot. So this is very relatable for me. And I can tell you that this is kind of a regular cycle for me. I have a habit of suppressing my emotions and then I end up having a very emotional confession or a very big cry about it, and then I can see things a little bit better. So honestly, I feel like this is something that I'm just very used to at this point. If it's something that feels scary or feels new to you, like, well, all I can say is get ready for that emotional turmoil to help wash away the old things and help bring clarity to what new things you need to bring in next. So that is your reading for now, for today, for this week or whatever. Let's get a few charms from the Charmcast Tarot to help finish off your reading here. Let's see. Okay, let's get 3 charms. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So we've got the Queen of Swords on the Ace of Cups. And we've got the King of Pentacles on the Six of Wands. And we've got the reverse King of Wands on the Four of Cups. So let me just show you these charms real quick here. I know the light is super bright, but I'm sure in a future video I'll find out how to show that off better. Alright, so we've got the Queen of Swords, King of Pentacles, and the King of Wands reversed here. King of Wands reversed, King of Pentacles, and the Queen of Swords. So you've got 3 court cards coming out. Okay. So with the King of Wands reversed, it gives me the idea that you are trying to be strong. You're trying to prove that you have control over yourself. You may be trying to prove to someone that, you know, you're strong, you're super capable, you have control over yourself, you can like control your emotions and your energy. But the King of Wands reverse kind of tells you like that's not really the point, and that's not something that it feels like what it's actually conveying is you're trying to look at your emotions in like a business sense or a logical sense. Perhaps you're trying to like weigh the pros and cons of like allowing yourself to feel your emotions to the extent that you need, allowing yourself to express those emotions. It's possible that, you know, you're trying to look at your life and your personality or whatever, like super logically, and you're trying to be like, you know, that's not really practical. Yeah, I don't know if that's making any sense so far. Because your emotional needs are not really quite being met, you're not really able to express yourself outwardly, genuinely in the way that like really works for you. You may be coming off a little bit cold or like a little bit too practical in some ways, because you're not really allowing yourself the space to feel like joy or need or desire. You may be cutting off, you know, the part of yourself that really enjoys life and feels like the part of you that feels the excitement to live, to experience the ups and downs and the roller coasters of life, you know? So it's possible that because of the King of Pentacles here, it's just, you're just trying to be very pragmatic, very like even about it all. But what I do see here with the Queen of Swords on top of the Ace of Cups and this whole shebang on the right side here is that you are in need of some clarity. And you have to realize that showing emotions and being in touch with your emotions does not make you weak. It does not make you stupid. It just helps you be a smarter person overall. And being smart about your emotions is just as valid as being smart about your own intellect or your own business sense. You know, it's important to be in tune with yourself and to understand these things that you need and how to get them met. Just as when you need to find food, when you're hungry, you need to find food. When you need some money, you need to find new income. When you need to feel happy, you need to find an outlet for your emotional needs and or feedback for your emotional needs to be met. So emotional intellect is just as smart and valid as like other forms of intellect, you know? So that's what I'm getting from your charms today. So yeah, that is all I got for your reading today. Again, I do apologize that there is no cat on my lap. Sorry, you got bamboozled. She has kind of made appearances in other ways throughout the video. But yeah, I hope that it was helpful for you in some way. And yeah, so that's all I got for you today. Hope to see you in another video. Bye!